What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Vampy Book Club. We're on episode 7 and we're on issue 7. So here's the issue. This is the issue we're going to be talking about, issue 7. But I can't be talking Vampy without my partner in crime, Daily Man. What's going on?
What up, y'all? What's going on?
Not much, but we're going to be going over Vampy number 7.
Number 7.
7, and then it's Frazetta's third cover for third Vampy cover for Warren, and one of his more popular covers. It's called Sun Goddess. And one thing about this cover, it was the paint the like you've been telling us, the printing didn't do it justice enough, but it's a lot. The colors are a lot brighter on it. This is another close up picture of the painting, and then come to find out, I think in the early 90s or 2000s they actually created a statue for it. So here's the statue of it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
That is a cool statue. I will say that.
yeah, yeah,
I did not know that existed.
yep. I didn't either. I did my research, and then I believe the painting is still in in the Frazetta's possession, in one of the siblings. I'm not sure which one,
Mhm.
because Sarah never got back to me. But I believe, if not, it could be in a personal collection. But so far, what I've known, I believe it's in one of the one of the four siblings collection. So I'm not sure which one. It's one of the four have it.
Somebody has it, right? Somebody
Somebody,
has
yeah, somebody has it, because it hasn't gone up on Heritage at all. So nobody sold it yet. So you know what I mean. But I believe it's in possession of one of the Frazetta siblings.
it. Very cool.
So through my research, but something cool about this issue is it's actually four, what is it, four stories of different witches, something like that.
3.
Three story yeah, three stories of different stories about witches. It's a little bit different take on what we've been reading, like little, like how it was previously. It was mini stories like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that. But this one had a point.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely. It was pretty much like a tale of 3 different witches,
Yeah,
and there are 3 different types of witches. Uh, I read the first witch set. So it was like the prologue
right.
of
Well,
talking about the
let's
three.
let's talk about this page here right now. So this page here right now is done by Bill. Half of it's done by Bill McKay or whatever.
Mhm.
Billy Graham. So the pictures of each of all the artists is done by Billy Graham. But the vampy on the stone or whatever it is that she's doing this number on the stone is actually by Frazetta.
Mhm.
So half of it's done by this person, and the pencil sketch of Vampy up here saying who's a witch tale, or yeah, why a witch tale or whatever, is actually done by Frazetta. So that's kind of cool. I
Mhm.
think it's I think they said it was one of four that he's done in a pencil of. But so there's a couple of them there where he did little heads, and there's a couple of them where he did full bodies. So we're gonna see another sketch when we get to issue 11 of one of his sketches in issue 11 eventually.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's kind of cool about this page. So and then so you read the first story. What you think?
I thought it was cool. Pretty much a about a witch. It's just like it's kind. What's cool about this? It kind of gave like a brief, like towards the end of it, gave like a brief of explanation of where how she came about, and pretty much. So pretty much it starts off with her like a like a nightclub or something like that as a sing, as you can see on the title
Right.
page here,
Right. Right. Right.
like as a musician. And there was an artist, actual, speaking since we're talking about artists here, there was like an artist in the crowd drawing like a portrait of this witch, which is titled White Witch.
Right.
Uh, she was she said, "Oh, I like the picture. I like the portrait that you
Right.
painted of me here."
But the
I'm like,
funniest thing
yeah.
is that the artist looks like Uncle Creepy almost. You noticed
No,
that?
I'll go into that because
Yeah.
so the artist, so the artist, so the artist is a different person from what you're thinking of, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the as you see, if you look at the panel here on this page that you look at, it's the top
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
top left panel. It's a different person.
Oh,
So
okay.
by it going out and starting to, it's like while in the nightclub, she's like talking to the artist. She he wanted or she wanted the painting and was willing to offer some money, but he all he wanted was he was willing to trade her the portrait for pretty much a date.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so the person that you're speaking of here that looks like
Hmm.
Uncle Creepy
Hmm.
is a person that is saying that it's that he is her brother.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you understand,
I did. I read it. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is the art? Because I read
yeah,
it, but you know how sometimes when my dyslexia acts up, it freaking gets the bits and pieces, and I'm like, uh, why does
yeah,
that look like Uncle Creepy?
yeah. So it's like it's pretty much poses that yeah he's like posing as her brother. Then
Oh,
yeah. So it's but it's pretty much it's she's
yeah.
a she's a witch that it doesn't really say how what kind of special power she has. She doesn't really have a special power
Right, right, right,
like a witchcraft type of power, which I don't understand why they would call her a witch.
right.
It's pretty much just a woman that is from what the person playing as her brother explains that she has uh, a weird skin disease or a skin illness that
Ah,
she's allergic pretty much in a way pretty much saying she's allergic to sunlight. Okay,
oh.
she's
So
allergic.
she's a vampire.
Yeah, it's not really a witch. It's like
She's not
it's
a witch. She's a vampire. I
yeah,
forgot about this story.
yeah. So
I read all of them, but I just forgot all about this
yeah,
one.
so she's obsessed with wanting to see the sunlight and see the sun up
Right,
in the sky because originally it was like it was saying her brother was looking for the sun for the artist
right,
because the woman was intrigued by this artist and the brother found him so he could draw another portrait of
oh,
the woman. Yeah, but she
oh,
wa- but the artist has certain stipulations like saying that he likes to draw or paint by the morning light, by the
right,
morning
right,
sunlight.
right,
But
right,
but the brother came out counteracted that with and said, "Hey, explained that
right,
she had this allergy or illness that she can't be out in the sunlight.
right,
She gets really sick. It could be deadly."
right, right,
And it goes on.
right.
So he says, "All right, by the moonlight, the whole thing." Uh, and it shows her out in the middle and in the morning because
Ooh,
she. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I take it back. I take it back. So the witchery part of what her was
this part.
this right here showing that she was trying to create a some sort of magical potion or to cure her illness
Right.
towards the sunlight. So I take that back. It did say that they tried to cure her. She's trying to do it, but it didn't quite work. So she covered herself in mud, almost like almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Predator.
Predator. Yeah,
So
I
the predator
remember
won't see
this.
him. So by like this, it's like she covered herself in mud so that the sunlight won't affect her skin.
Right, right.
So she got to see it once during the day, and then all right, it was only immune to it because she was covered herself in mud. But then, but they like they were out like all day and night, so they were both exhausted. They go to
Right,
sleep,
right,
and they didn't realize what the time of day it was.
right.
And he go, so it was once it gets to the end, he goes, oh, he's thinking the artist is thinking, oh, it could be middle of the night, could be middle of the night. He goes, Oh, right here. This part right here
Yeah,
is talking about the origin.
yeah.
So she was somehow created through him and found in this like a looks like a moth, a caterpillar.
It looks like
Like
a cocoon. Yeah, like a
yeah,
moth or a cocoon or something.
yeah, it's like a white moth cocoon, and she was found in that. And then the brother says, "All right, yeah, I gonna pose you as claim you as my sister and raised her."
Hmm.
But so it's like they're not really brother and sister. It's just
Right,
some guy that just found her in
right,
this web of
right,
or cocoon. But right
right,
here, and this is where they go to where they at this last panel they can after waking up being exhausted and sleeping, thinking it's the middle of the night, but it
right,
ends up being the middle of the day. He
right,
opens he opens up the curtains and nothing but sunlight, and she melts away.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and then then the next story
yeah,
after that.
the next story is a mind witch, which is kind of interesting. It's like so this is like this witch is like doing seances and stuff like
Right.
that, having people look at the crystal balls, and
Well, we'll talk about all the stories and then we'll grade them at the
yeah,
at the end. But yeah, so
yeah, which is this was pretty interesting too. It's
yeah,
like she was like pretty much stealing people's souls, and it was like in a town, and she was stealing people's souls through the crystal ball,
right.
and she would like eat them, eat they're like she'll pretty much like an eater of souls because she'll take them,
Ah,
yeah, because she'll somehow get the crystal balls or get the souls to the crystal ball, and eat the souls, but they become like mindless people.
ah,
Yeah, and there's like the local sheriff is trying to investigate, and there's like a journalist and stuff like that.
right.
Either become mindless, like just
Yeah,
mindless bodies, and or metamorphose into something different, kind of weird. But she's
yeah.
like kind of controlling a town.
So she pretty much controls the whole town except for the sheriff, pretty
Yeah,
much. I
exactly.
mean, what I can remember reading this one, it's
Yeah,
like, well, don't be worried about a witch that can actually take your soul and
exactly,
eat it.
exactly. And it's like 'cause she'll like absorb the soul through like a little marble, and then eat the
Yeah,
marble.
yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying. Be careful.
exactly, and then uses the body as like
Yeah,
a vessel to go do stuff.
I
So
mean, I mean, if you really wanted to run the whole world and be a king
yeah,
or whatever, that would be one way. But and then the last story was by Billy Graham, the Black Witch. I
Black
thought
Widow.
this this was an interesting one, but I enjoyed it because by by Billy Graham again. I like Graham's art this time.
Yeah, I like it, and I like the art. I did like the artwork. I read about half of it before I hopped on here because I
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah. But we didn't. We forgot. I forgot about this one. That's my fault. I forgot there was three witches stories in it. I forgot all about it. And then I'm like, and then when I looked at it during the week, I'm like, oh shit, there's three, there's three stories in this one.
so and the one thing I can so it's pretty much from the part up to the point I read
Right.
and it seemed like it was like the witch was having an affair with this man,
Hmm.
and even though he was like already dating somebody, uh, and but the witch kind of confronts the woman, the other
Mm.
woman, because she's already trying to tell the man, oh, just let her know that you're with me already, and just leave her, and so, but he was like, I guess he was didn't want to quite leave her,
Right.
yeah, so, but she was like one of those, I guess he like, you know,
Attachment issues.
yeah, it's like so she was like the one of those like like the stories that we hear about the side chick
Yeah.
that wants to become the main chick.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, yeah. Pretty
yeah,
much, pretty much all all the Witcher stories is pretty much the either the almost like side chick types.
yeah,
If you read them, most of them, and most of the bases, it seems like it's the
yeah,
witch. What the witch was either a mystery person or either the side side chick of one of the guys or whatever in the
yeah.
stories.
So this one was like the pretty much a side chick.
Right.
So like the with the first, so kind of going back real quick. The first one was just the first witch,
Yeah.
the one that was labeled
The white
the
witch.
white witch. She was just a person that was just obsessed with seeing the sun because
Right.
of an illness, and she's trying to
Right.
cure herself.
Right. And
And
then yeah, normally when we see white witch, it means a good witch.
yeah,
Normally, that's
yeah,
what it normally means.
yeah, exactly. The white witch. And she wasn't, doing anything evil and like that.
Right.
She was just using witchcraft to
To
cure
try
herself.
to cure, like you said, cure herself, try to see the sun.
Yeah,
But then,
enjoy
come
enjoy
to
a
find
simple
out,
thing in
she's
life.
some type of she's some type of moth creature looking like
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
like a moth creature that only comes out at night.
It
Yeah,
only
so
comes like,
yeah,
yeah,
because
so
it looks like that's how she came about. The second story
yeah,
was just like a witch that was like controlling the town in a way and
right,
controlling
yeah,
people's minds and all that and
right,
getting
right,
their souls.
right,
Yeah, by taking them through a crystal ball through it while conducting a séance.
yeah,
The third one,
a
and
marble.
yeah, and they each, the third one's like a witch that's pretty
Yeah,
much a side chick that's trying to take that
yeah,
doesn't want to be the side chick anymore.
yeah,
She wants to be the main person now.
yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing about the art when it came to
I'm wondering if Panther, if if Graham's version of this gave Warren the idea for Panther. I wonder in issue 30, because looking at the art and reading it, because the way the witch changes, it almost feels like Panther style. You know what I mean?
yeah because she gets into the main chick's house as like a black cat and then she
Right, right,
transforms right there. So it's which is cool and kind of like what we talked about in one of the earlier episodes,
right,
how in black and white, when it comes to black and white drawings, trying to draw,
right.
when an artist draws a person of
Color
of color or different skin tone other than white,
a different race.
yeah,
It's
different
harder
race,
for them
you know,
because since black and white.
well, my point is about to make is they do like either darker shading.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
as you can see here, they're trying to
Yeah,
draw a person of color, a black in this point a black person.
right,
Uh, so you can see like the shading's a little bit different to make it
right,
to signify that it's a black person that's being
right,
drawn here. Yeah,
right.
and I think the artist Billy Graham is black as well.
Right,
So
right. Yeah, he's the first African American Marvel artist that they hired.
yeah,
So
so
yeah, so yeah,
it's just kind of like like kind of like what I was saying about like if like if drawing like a different color hair color
right,
other than black or blonde they
right,
usually just leave it white. If it's black, obviously it'll be solid black. So
right,
it'll be like gray tones if it was like a different color hair. Uh, but but this is pretty cool to see it
right.
firsthand here.
Yeah,
Uh, and I do like Billy Graham's art. Not to
yeah.
be
I actually
he's not,
I enjoyed Graham's art on this one.
and he's not to be confused with the pro wrestler or the preacher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Because that when I first saw the name, I'm like, nah, no way. And then I looked them up. I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
Not to be confused with the preacher or
No,
or
yeah,
the
because yeah, Tom Sutton, Billy Graham, these four artists were the ones that did the stories. Yeah. Arnie Cologne is another one that I enjoyed his art. Billy Graham I enjoyed.
Ernie
Yeah,
Cologne.
Ernie
Ernie
Cologne.
Cologne.
Yeah, I think Ernie was the last witch story, but after I think he was after Billy's. I think
No, it's like Billy was he did the second one, Mind Witch.
mine was
Billy Graham did
the last
the first
one,
one. Yes.
the last story. Okay, that I got confused. I'm like, wait a minute. I know there was yeah. So yeah, I know he did the Black Witch one, and then yeah, Graham did this one, and then what did you think of Cologne's art?
That was okay. That's all right.
Mm, yeah,
That's all
Cologne's
right.
art was okay. Cologne's not too bad. So let's go back to the first one, and then and let's story. What you think of the story?
The story is pretty cool. So the White Witch I thought was pretty cool. Uh, I would say, it's like with it, because I like the I guess I like the innocence behind it. Was because it's like
Right,
a
right,
person just trying to enjoy the simple things in life. and she's not like
I forget the artist on this one. Was it Sutton on this one, or was it?
yes,
Okay,
yeah, it was Sutton, I believe. And actually, let me
yeah,
double.
yeah, yeah. It's Tom Sutton. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yes,
got you. Yeah, it's Sutton. That's what I
yeah,
thought. I knew. I recognized the art, so I'm like, I
yeah,
think it was Sutton.
yeah. Cuddy did the writing for everything. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like three different artists for
Three different artists. Yeah.
three individual stories.
So I mean, story wise, I liked how this was a little of a innocent story of the where the it, and the witch didn't want to do bad things. She just really wanted to see the sun. Nothing
Yeah,
like she didn't try to take the guy, take the good the artist's soul or nothing like that.
yeah,
So that was
exactly.
it was a nice one. It was it
Yeah,
was a
exactly.
nice nice calm story before we got into the crazy ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, and then like then I said, yeah. So with this one, it's like, all right, it's just a simple story. It's like it gave like a
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like a brief, yeah, brief history. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah, somebody, then this man that found her just trying to take care of her,
Yeah.
and all the only witchcraft that she was doing was really trying to cure herself of this
Of the
ailment,
ailment.
of
Yeah.
the ailment of not of being allergic
Yeah.
to sun.
Because
So
when I first read it, I thought she was before I had you read it, like, but when I really like when I first got the issue and read it myself, I forgot it said witch, and I thought she was. I'm like, the way they were explaining how she is, it's a vampire. That's what
yeah,
I.
so a witch who's allergic to sun.
No, no,
So
yeah, yeah, but I knew that. Now I know that after rereading it, this time, the first time when I read it, I'm like, eh, dude, isn't she just a vampire?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but it was. I thought honestly, Sutton's art in this one's a little better than his first issue one's art. I
mhm,
think. I think it's a. I mean, don't get me wrong. Issue one is 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 recognizable because he's the first person to actually draw Vampirella in general. But I'm just saying this art is a little, I think he's more relaxed in this one where he's not rushed to get something done or not he actually has some type of idea of what he wants done besides Vampirella 1 where these guys didn't have a, a clue of what they wanted and they say, "Hey, Sutton, I want you to do this, but I need you to do this."
yeah, exactly, exactly, pretty much. So
Yeah, so at least this one, he had a, you know, they had, he already had like a mind, set up where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do with it. So, what you grade the story at?
this one I get overall I'll give it a 7.5 overall.
7.5.
Yeah, seven point
Okay,
five
you give
overall.
it a
So,
7. I give it, yeah, I'll give it about 7.0. You 7.5. I'll give it about 7.0. Art wise, I enjoyed the art. So, what'd you give the art?
the artwork I enjoy. I did like it too. So I'll give the artwork a 7.
7.
Yeah,
Okay, 7.
I'll
Okay,
give it a 7. So
I'll give it. I don't want to be the same where you give it a. I'll give it a 6. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. I don't get me wrong. It's not as iconic as his issue one, Sutton's issue one stuff, but it's still good.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Because issue one is iconic because of Vampirella, but if it wasn't for that, it would be a lot lower for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So then with so part with the second story, the mind witch. I I liked it, but not. I think I liked the first one a little bit better
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
than this one.
Which was yeah, same way, same as you. Mine, which I liked it, but it felt like something missing. There, right?
Yeah, something missing. I think it could have been a little bit more to it, but
Right, right.
I get the Nick Cuddy, the writer was trying to do three stories and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
can
So
understand. Yeah, I can understand that. Where he's one for, of course, his first story is going to be strong. If he's the same writer through all three of them, it's some. it's gonna fall through. One of them's gonna fall through the cracks, and I think this one was the one that fell through the cracks. I think.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So, but still, it was still a great story. It's still fun. But I get, like as far as grading it,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give it like a 6.5.
I
And
give it a five. I give it a five.
it's
You give it
definitely,
a six. I give it a. I
yeah,
give it a five.
yeah.
But
It's definitely my least favorite of the three.
what
Uh,
did you think about Ernie's art? Ernie Cologne's art. That's the biggest takeaway on this one.
I did, yeah. He's good. He's definitely
Hmm.
good artist, but I just don't. You know, I didn't like it as much as.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I
think I think my favorite one, my favorite artist on this one is actually Graham. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna say since we're getting heading into the next one after this, I would say Billy Graham's art is the one I like the most
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of it.
There's a the Cologne. I noticed Cologne's females I liked more though. Cologne's females I really liked more in his thing. Like, don't get me wrong, all the characters look great, but his females looked, you know, like female. You know, like uh, like his Vampy looks good. You know what I mean? This one especially I enjoyed, where she's actually sitting by the the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, like this panel here I actually enjoyed. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, Cologne's art. I give it about what'd you give it?
Cologne's art. Same as the story, 6.5 on that.
6.6. So
Yeah,
I give it about a I give it about a five or four. The female wise, I get the females are stronger on his. I give it that. But Graham, I think Graham was the strongest artist on here.
yeah,
Sutton was the second strongest artist. Ernie. That's probably why Ernie was the middle story. I think that's the biggest reason why they probably used him for the middle. They already knew which guys were the strongest artists they had. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. So, so that's where if you go uh to the Black Witch.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I enjoyed the detail that he was drawing on the face a little
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the face a little
Like
bit better.
his Graham's art popped more.
Hmm.
I felt it. His story, the story wise, it's good. But honestly, I think the art helped the story this time. Not you know what I mean? How the previous ones, the story helped the art. Where this time the art helped the story this time. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this one the art helped the story this time from Graham's. This time Graham helped the story this time
Yeah.
because honestly, it could have been a weak story if they had a weaker artist. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why I looked at it. It's like it could have been a little bit, definitely a lot different, a lot weaker.
Yeah, it could
But
have been a lot. Honestly, if it wasn't for Graham's art, I think this story would have been a lot weaker. You think? If
yeah,
it if they if, let's just say they flipped it and used Ernie for this one and used Graham for Mind Witch, that I think it would be our scores would be completely different. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And uh, for because I didn't read the story completely, but I read most of the story on this one before I hopped on here. Uh, and I like the story so far because that I felt like it was just okay, like you know the side chick trying to get rid of
Right.
the main chick, and then the man was like, all right, decide to fight for the main chick and all that. So it, overall, I thought it was a pretty good story too. So I'll probably give it's to me it's a kind of a tie between the White Witch story and this one, so I give them
Uh
both
huh.
like a 7.5
Okay.
on
You,
it. You know, it's like because I think they're kind of equally good. You know, even though it's
yeah.
obviously it's a different story, but it's like I
Right.
think it's
Right.
equally good.
Like you give the story like a seven. Yeah, I give it the story about the same thing. You give it a seven, but art wise, I'll give it about a like a eight. I give it about an eight because honestly, Graham's art's really strong in this one. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I'll give about the same as you as far as art wise
Yeah,
too. So
yeah, because I think Graham's art's really strong in this one.
yeah,
Honestly, if it wasn't for his art being strong in this, I don't. I think the story, because I've read the story. I've read all the stories once through or before having you read it. Like I've read them before, to learn more about these books, anyways. And I've always thought this story, Graham's art, actually, that's what got me into Graham, anyways. Why I enjoyed Graham's stuff. You know what I mean? Was this? You know what I mean? Look at this panel here, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, like the guy throwing them out the window. You know what I mean? It's like all this. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, yeah. So I give it about an 8. I'll give it about an 8.
yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's a solid artist, and which is cool. It's like you know, yeah. I'm just looking up just a quick thing about him online. Yeah, it
Yeah.
shows like he did a lot of Warren stuff,
Yep.
mostly early on, and then he moved
He
to
was the
Marvel.
first. Yeah, he was the first Marvel. He was the first African American artist hired by Marvel. That's the last time I looked. Yeah, when he
Yeah,
was in one of the last stories that we looked up for him.
yeah. It looks like he was when he left Warren. When he went to and then jumped over to Marvel, he started drawing Luke.
Black Panther, Luke
Yeah,
Cage,
Luke
Black
Cage.
Panther.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Luke Cage was like one of his first.
right,
Then he moved on to other stuff too. So,
right. Yeah, yeah,
but Luke Cage was just like one of his first ones, and for what I'm looking at is like the early Luke Cage Hero for Hire when it came out in 1972.
yeah. So,
Yeah, with
so,
Pence.
so
Yeah, with
yeah,
Pence
pretty much.
Romita Jr.
Warren was his first works, pretty much. If you look at it with Graham's stuff, but Warren, like, he got his feet wet in Warren, pretty much, and then
Yeah.
he moved on to Marvel. So I can see why, just by looking at this, just by
Oh,
looking at
sorry.
this one.
Yeah, I take it back. He was inking for Luke Cage. He was doing the
Yeah,
ink.
yeah.
He was doing the
But
ink. Romita
so
Jr. I'm sorry, John Romita Sr. was doing was a and George Tuska was doing the penciling for Luke Cage and
but that gives us an idea of what this guy could do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If that means he probably drew and inked this himself. You know what I mean? If you
yeah,
think about it, so he probably drew it. He probably inked it himself. So that gives you a lot of insight on how Graham did his stuff.
yeah,
So honestly, giving this story a 8 is not, giving the story a 7, and then this an 8 is not. Honestly, I'm happy with that,
yeah,
because this was one of the stronger stories out of the three. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. The Ernie Cologne stuff is good, but we have to look at what other Ernie stuff. We have to compare some other Ernie stuff compared to this. You know what I mean? I think this Ernie probably had to rush and do this. Maybe I'm guessing. You know what I mean? How Warren is. So he probably had to do rush it. But I think Ernie, we have to look at some other of. I'm hoping we get some more Ernie stuff down the line with Vampy. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be excited to see what artists we're gonna have coming up after these guys. You know what I mean? Because these were the three mainstays was Tom Sutton, Billy Graham, Ernie Cologne. Yeah, these guys were the first, like the three mainstays for Warren for the interior stuff. Not and then we don't get, like I told you, we don't get Gonzalez until 11. Until 11, yeah, like either 10 or 11 is when we start getting the definitive version of what she looks like now. So I'm gonna be interested to see what who's gonna be coming down the pipeline for the next couple of issues, like 8, 9. Well, yeah, but we won't have long until we see Gonzalez's art, until 11. So, but next week we actually get somebody back. We actually get we actually get the title character back in our book next week, and I'm gonna be interested to see what Dell thinks, because the next issue we're gonna get a bunch of freaking first appearances. I'm hoping the stories. I forgot if the story is actually decent. Adele can tell me if it's decent or not. I've read it before, but I got to reread it again. What I can remember, I think it was pretty decent. It's just a lot of a lot of freaking characters they introduce.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I look forward to reading that one. It's like
yeah,
I'll probably since I got a little more time this week,
yeah,
I'll read I'll read a little bit more. I'll probably read it a couple of times just so I can really go
yeah,
through
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then we got Ernie, we got another King Kelly cover, so that's cool on the next issue. But we got we still got to rate our covers this week since we always do it towards the end of the end of the stream anyway. So what do you rate this one? It's a lot of people's favorites. This cover. Yeah,
Uh, I do like the cover, especially after seeing the original painting on
yeah,
it that shows the original coloring on it.
yeah, yeah,
I'll give this one up. I'll give it a good number. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. It's up there. Actually, 8.5. 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
I'll give it about the same. It's one of my favorites, but it's not my super favorite. You know what I mean? It's one of
I,
my favorites.
I guess it's Frazetta. It's a
Yeah,
Frazetta
yeah, yeah, yeah,
piece, and seeing the original piece, I like it very much. It's just like due to the
yeah.
technology, but from then
Right, right.
when trying to take
Yeah.
the image and put it onto a magazine or in print, it's a lot different
See,
from
wh-
now
what's
to
kind of funny is the digital scan made her lighter, made her lighter, but the printing. I'll show you the printing now, and then you tell me if you can see a difference. The printing, she looks. If you actually look at it in person, she looks a little green,
yeah.
almost.
It just looks dark. It looks a little darker because I had I have the same issue.
Yeah, yeah, you have the same issue. But if you look at it, she looks a little either a little darker or almost like a green. Like somehow the way they scanned it, it made her look like she's actually a Martian almost.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like green.
because a lot of times how they are able to capture the image, it's like they take like a photograph of it, like
Right,
with the and for the time because even as technology got better, there's still no flatbed scanners
right. Big enough.
big enough to take on a painting.
Right, right, right. I got you.
But even back then, before like scan computers and scanners became all high tech. So back then, we're talking like late '70s,
Right,
into the '70s. It took a whatever the highest grade camera for the time
right,
to take a photo of it. With they had to factor in lighting and all that stuff to take a really good printing, good photo of it. Then somehow take it to the printers
right.
and do it that
And
way.
then and then remember when Frazetta got done with them, if he did them last minute, he throws them in a fucking one of his wife's oven
Yeah, to help. Yeah,
to help the drying process. So imagine imagine you go somebody trying to go cook and you open it up and it's like a freaking painting in there. You're like, huh?
yeah. So throw a pie in the oven, and then there's a painting right there.
There's a painting sitting in the oven. Imagine if it was this one sitting in there. You're like, huh?
Yeah. While the wife is trying to putting together like a roast or something like that, to throw in the oven. Oh wait, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Or how Sarah said, Grandma would always scream, "Frank, get your damn painting out of my oven."
that's funny.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where James Warren's mindset and to see where the publishing where their publishing mindset was at when they introduced the character and nowhere in hell in 7 issues do we have a story about her until the next week's issue until issue 8. What the hell was going through their heads like, hey, we're gonna name this name this magazine Vampirella and we're gonna introduce you to the character and then we'll give you 2 issues of it. and then the next the next two after that, you don't see nothing about her at all.
Exactly.
It's like what was going through their head, like what what me and you were talking about, like what they said was going through their heads was they didn't think Vampirella would sell. They didn't think any of her stories would sell, and they thought maybe like doing it like Twilight Zone or or like Crypt Keeper type style. Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to sell better. But I'm wondering what changed their mind to put her back in the magazine in 8. You know what I mean? I would love to know what goes. Huh? Maybe we should put her back story back in 8. You know what I mean? I would love to know, like, pick his brain and figure, hey, what gave you the the sense to put her back? Since since the 3 issues, since it's 3 issues after 1 and 2, where you said, huh, I don't think she's gonna sell, and boom. So I'm super curious to see where you know, I'm interested to see what you're gonna think about next week's issue. So that's gonna be fun to see whether you reading it and then seeing what you think about it. So, but we still gotta grade our issues. We still have to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 to see where they rank for one one to 1 to 5. So or 1 to 7, depending on what you want. Because we got 7 issues now. So because eventually I'm gonna have ranking of 10, 1 to 10. Eventually, it's just but we had the first couple of issues. So issue 1, issue 3. So I'm gonna hold them up. You're gonna grade them. What you grade them at? 4. Yeah. So all right, issue 1. This is the reprint of issue 1, so it doesn't do it justice. But
Yeah, but I
issue
get the
1,
point.
yeah, yeah,
Well, issue one's still up there to me.
yeah, yeah.
I
Issue
think
1,
yeah, I think issue one's still my first. Still one of my first. Yeah, that's still the first one for me.
yeah. Issue 1, issue 2. Yeah,
I'll say like that's still like my third favorite.
yeah, yeah. And then 3 is the one of Von Bode and the other cartoonist. So
Yeah, I would say that one. That one's still kind of like towards my last one. I'll put that one number 7.
okay, and then the number 4.
It's like my second one. Yeah, second
Second,
favorite.
second favorite. 5. 5 is Frazetta, and this is the one that's painted on Masonite.
Yeah, still it's up there. I'll say I would say that one's probably my fourth one.
Your fourth one, and then this is one of my favorites because it's but the both of them, and that it's not just one one artist. It's actually Frazetta and Ken Kelly.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I know it's like where Ken Kelly did the majority of the thing, and then Frank Frazetta just stepped in to change the face.
Yeah,
Uh,
because it wasn't surprise.
yeah,
My favorite story is when the friends told when Frank's friends told me about the story
yeah,
was Frank's where Ken Kelly walked into the house and goes, "Hey Frank, what you think? Hey, the female's face doesn't look surprised enough. So give me that."
yeah, yeah. So I do like the story behind it.
Yeah,
Of Frank Frazetta having to step in on that one, or
yeah,
just automatically just imposing himself uh,
yeah.
to step in. But yeah, it's still, I say that was still that was like my number 6 on that one.
Okay, okay. And then this week's issue, number 7.
So
We got
no, that was like number 5. So pretty much my top 5, all my top my 5 out of 7 have been all Frazetta covers,
right.
and then you get the last 2 are the
Yeah,
different artists.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. This is gonna be one for me. You know what I mean? This is gonna be one, but the main reason this is 2 for me is because of the story behind it. This is because two. This is two for me because of
Mhm.
the story behind it. So one, two. So and then my other favorite, number three would be this one. So three would be that one because this is always it's one of his it's his third cover, but it's a lot of people's favorites.
Mhm.
But it's my third one. You know what I mean? Third. Then number five would be four. You know, four, and then number two would be six for me. You know what I mean? Number two would be six. Two would be six. Number seven, honestly, number seven would be this one. Number seven would be this one. Still not my favorite out of all of them. Yeah, so that one's my number seven, but number three would be my, would be my six, or would be would be six. But that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing for these guys. If you guys really enjoy them, you know what I mean. So if you guys really enjoy this, let us know if what you guys want, what else you guys want to see from us. You know what I mean? But Vampy Book Club, we're gonna be going over all the issues, like I said from before. If you guys read them before, if you guys want us to go over any of the stories, you have to let us know in the in the chats down below, or in the like and subscribe to us. You know what I mean? You can tell me on Instagram if you guys want to join in. Would love to have you guys join in to see what everybody thinks about her. You know what I mean? Not everybody, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm trying to get though slowly into her. It looks like it's working. It's
Somewhat.
work somewhat. Looks like
I can appreciate. I'm appreciating it a little bit more. It's still,
right.
yeah, like
But
especially.
that's all I really want is the people to appreciate her more and stop thinking of her as ooh, pretty covers or sexy covers. You know what I mean? She has more behind than sexy covers. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm hoping to get you at least. Oh, she's not just a sexy body. Yeah,
No, I appreciate it more. It's just, and I will say this: it has introduced me. Yeah, like I always knew about Frank Frazetta. I had an idea of who he was
yep,
uh, as an artist. Because just off of that one
yeah,
piece that was done for the movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
yeah,
It's like I'd seen it too, for that
right,
movie and all that. So but he wasn't. Then once I started really getting into comics and stuff like that, and collecting cards,
yep,
and even collecting the Vampirella trading cards. As well as I mentioned it a few times over.
yeah,
Like a set of 90 cards,
yep,
uh, and of course, some of them had just pictures of Frank Rosetta's artwork and stuff like that. With him drawing. That's how I came to know
yep,
Rosetta.
yeah, and then yeah, and then this is what we're gonna be doing, guys. If you guys want to see more stuff, or you guys want to see some, me and Dell talk about recent Vampy stuff, or anything else, you guys have to let us know, and you know, in the description below, because a lot of you guys haven't joined us during the live streams. I know a lot of you guys are busy, so you guys can always leave it down in the description. Leave comments in the video when it goes live. So you got just let me know what you guys want to see out of Vampy Book Club, man. Because if not, me and Dell are gonna truck on to 113 of these issues. So you guys are gonna have to sit through this, but we're gonna have a lot of special guests coming up, and a lot of and we might be going over the '96 movie. So you have to stay tuned to see which episode we're gonna be going over the movie. So
Exactly. Well, once we start,
yeah.
well, I had to get a hold of that movie too. I know
Yeah.
Jeff has it.
Yeah, don't worry. I found it. I found it. I'm gonna send it to you, and then you can watch it. you can. We can all watch it together. We can all watch it on YouTube together. I found it on YouTube.
Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you guys are gonna be in for a treat. You guys are gonna. We're gonna be doing a lot more of these on every Sunday, at 6 p.m. every Sunday for 113 issues, every single issue. But if you guys want to see what next week's issue is going to be, I'll pull it out right now. So next week's issue is going to be issue 8. So it's going to be this issue. Hold on, let me make myself bigger so people can see. So issue 8. So we're going to be going over, and it's a Ken Kelly cover. But there's a lot of first appearances in this one. So I'm curious what Dell's going to be thinking about this one. I'm super excited to see what Dell's going to be thinking. Dell already knows it's a Ken Kelly cover, so it's going to be cool just to see what he thinks about the story finally. So it's going to be interesting. So I can't wait to see what you think, Dell.
I look forward to reading it. So
Yeah, I'm excited because I've read it. I thought it was interesting, but I want to see what your take on this is going to be. So, guys, we enjoyed having you guys for today for Vampy Book Club. I'll see you guys next week for Vampy Book Club issue 8, and we'll check you later.